Evening loop. Good evening. Regular loop. A good loop with variety. Check out the sky. Looked like it was going to cane it down with rain earlier, but we went out. I was going to go out if it was raining anyway. You know, I don't mind riding in the rain, but sometimes choice, isn't it? If you don't feel like riding in the rain, don't ride in the rain. It doesn't mean that you're less of a cyclist because you make that decision. But people avoid the rain all the time. You're missing out. Riding in the rain's good. Riding in snow is good. Riding in ice is not good. So, I've been struggling a bit lately, and who doesn't, whether that's with diet, whether that's with cycling, riding your bike, whether you are training, just life, man, work, whatever. So yeah, I've just been like struggling. I've just been getting fed up with eating basically, which I do sometimes. So, not that I'm skipping meals, but I'll just have some rice, you know, you've got to have something, because you will be running like a calorie deficit for the next day. So does that mean you must have something? No, not really. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a pint of water or some tea and a Cliff Bar or some fruit in the evening if you wanted. Again, just experiment with that, what fruit you might find that benefits you at night. It's entirely up to you, isn't it, really? Again, there's no rules, there's no people saying what is the exact thing to do, in my opinion. What's truth, what's lies, who knows? Who knows? Look at the people getting the results you desire. Really? Not always. Not always. Be very careful on that advice and whose advice you're taking. In my experience. I'm happy, yes, I'm good. Although I may not seem that sometimes. I'm pretty positive. And if you're not positive, then why not, okay? Tonight's ride, it's not been a training ride. You know very well I don't train, I've made that very clear. It's just been, what are we on? 47 kilometres, probably like 55 when we get home. It could have been less, could have been more, whatever. But it's just been a gentle energy conserving loop, alright? Which, try that if you're new to cycling, or even if you're not new, alright? Because I know a lot of people have been cycling a while and you might be able to ride 100 miles or 200 miles, alright? But don't be afraid to put it in the inner ring on hills and conserve energy and go up those hills at a snail's pace. If distance is your thing, alright? Or because you can put it in the big ring, doesn't mean you should, alright? Distance takes a different approach, a big different approach. And eventually, by grinding or putting it in the big ring because you think you can on your little round the block rides, that will catch up with you, alright? But let's just say you did do a 300 kilometre ride with me. Okay, not I'm saying I missed the 300 kilometres, I can ride distance better than anyone else. I can, I don't even train, man. But I'd go out with energy conserving in mind. But what I'm saying is, if I was riding someone and they thought they could still carry on smashing up the hills in the big ring, at the end of the 300 kilometres, alright, whose legs are gonna be fresher, basically, okay? Ready to say, to go out and do that again the next day or something, alright? That's what I'm getting at. Energy conserving, energy conservation. Sometimes it's not always great to go out and smash it around the block. Again, it depends what your goals are, what you're training for, whatever. But if you're just riding and enjoying riding, there's nothing wrong with like pushing your limits, like riding 100 miles or 100k faster than you usually would and see how you feel at the end of that, versus energy conserving and riding at a sensible cadence and getting home thinking, oh, that was good. So maybe I could have ridden that 150k that I thought would have been right out of my league because I basically energy conserved, alright? Again, there's nothing wrong with going out in the inner ring straight away, alright? And warming up really gently like that, okay? Nothing wrong with that at all. I know there's a lot of fast-fed people out there who got it in their head like big ring everywhere, smash it around the block and that, okay, fair enough. But certain riding does take a different approach, alright? I don't see the point in going out riding all the time, whether you ride solo or with a group. Put it this way, right? If you go on a club run on a Sunday, it's by sure, yeah, it's good to have that fitness to be able to go around on the club run without hurting and not enjoying it, alright? Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is to go further than that, like going out and really smashing yourself and doing, like, say, intervals, heel repeats, or certain training, as people call it, you've got to ask yourself why you're doing it, really. And I've talked about it in other videos, and I'm not having a go at people who are training with regards have got actual goals, you know, and do racing and stuff. Just enjoy your riding, and long term consistent just riding is sustainable, you know, because that's what people end up doing when they stop racing or whatever anyway. Just enjoy cycling for what it is, alright? So my opinions on racing and stuff, I think it's cool if that's what you want to do. For me personally, like time trials, long distance kind of time trials, even just club 10s or 100 mile, 200 mile time trials or something, does appeal to me. Maybe it's something I'll get into, but not racing in a bunch of people, really. It looks fun. I did think about doing crits at one time, but nah, not me, man. It's not me. You only want to touch some wheels or something, and you're going down, aren't you? So mad respect to people that do that. It is pretty hardcore, you know. If that's what gives you your buzz, though, cool. So yeah, go out, energy conserve, and just go from there. That's actually a good tip to give. Forget like so-called training that people tell you to do, and like I mentioned, like intervals, heel repeats, and smashing a 10-mile time trial, whatever. Just go out and enjoy your cycling, you know, and build on that. I suppose you could call it a base, whatever. You don't even have to call it that, you know. Just general riding, fitness will come, and go from there, you know. So yeah, over and out. I think that's all I want to say, really. La-di fucking da. Oh, he swore. Gonna lose some subs. So new subs lately. Thanks for subscribing. Hope you find me entertaining and with some value there, I guess. I hope so, because again, that's why I'm on here. I'm trying to be, well, I guess you are your authentic self, you know. Some people like watching you, some people don't. It's not my problem, is it? Just want to be like as original as possible, I guess. Just a person from the UK riding his bike and enjoying that. So should you. See ya.